Hi, how's it in the name of Christ? How you doing? It's Karabo. It's your girl Crankay. I hope you're good. I hope you're peachy. I hope you're stellar. And I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not, join the party. Yeah. Like, I don't think anybody is cool, and I don't even know why anybody is trying to be cool. Because there's nothing cool about the circumstance. It's just, everything is over. Okay. Let me just put some caveats out there. I'm wearing application makeup. Look out for it. It's gonna be bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's just gonna be a thing. So we deal. Okay. What else do I want to say? Captions. Watch out for the captions. They're not always accurate, but they're there and I like them there. And nothing is going to be changed. Not while we're still in this situation. So just kind of like take them in your stride. Okay. They're sometimes inaccurate. They use a small g for God, stuff like that. Yeah, so just listen to my voice if you can hear. If you can't, oops. Alright. What else? Makeup. Did I mention makeup? Yeah, I'm wearing it. It's bouncing around. It's an application. My brows are gray because I've got this like sunscreen that's got a white cast, and it's just what it is that we deal with. I'm also entirely human. That's like a whole thing. And I have like a segment now in my ministry where I show that. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Cause look, when I pinch my cheeks, they get red. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They blush up. Yeah, when you prick me, I bleed. That's just the moral of that story. Okay. Let's just get straight into it. Oh goodness, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I pinched myself. But I always pinch myself. It doesn't really produce much. Now it is. Look. So, South Africa. Okay, South Africa. Okay, look, whatever. Do you? Alright, keep your little country, keep your funny little strange state. Grab it, run with it, go on an athletics patch and sprint, marathon. And then when you're done, eat a little orange, because it's halftime, and then keep on sprinting. Because frankly, whatever direction you run, I don't care. I'm not your supporter. I don't stand with you. I'm your absolute enemy. And being at enmity with you, despite being the country that I was born in, understand I'm gonna do everything in my power to get out of here. Whether or not you try to keep me here. If at all the Lord does not. Rapture the body of Christ first. Y'all know I'm torn between worlds. I'm not really sure if the rapture is happening or if the future is happening. But one thing that I made clear is that if a future is happening, I'm not staying here. And with me voicing such sentiments as those, I then get attacked by witches trying to concede with me to make me basically sit it out, like hang 10, just relax, listen. Hypocrisy, I'm sorry, no, I can't take it in my stride. Listen, okay, you don't get to be, let's just put that out there, a patriot for your country and still be a witch. You just don't get to do that. Let's just say that again. You don't get to be a whole country-loving rando and still be a sorcerer. Shall we use another sentence? You do not get to be a country hugger and then still partake in fruitless deeds of darkness that completely throw your country into a dustbin. You don't get to do that. You witches, like, you know what? We've got some issues and we're gonna have a discussion about them. This here is a wand, alright? It's a needle. I use it to scratch my head because every so often I get itchy. I'm gonna moisturize tonight, so praise God. Things are not gonna be this dire in a minute. Now imagine if I grabbed this wand over here, which is a needle really, and then I just made a decision that, since it prospers to scratch my itchy scalp, I'm now also going to use it as a mascara wand. Or I'm going to use it as a roll-on deodorant wand. Or I'm going to use it as a pointer wand to basically show people a PowerPoint presentation and successfully achieve all that with this wand over here. It has a purpose. What is its purpose? To scratch my itchy scalp. It works very effectively to do that, while minimizing the spreading itch. Like, when you scratch yourself and the itch spreads to other, localized regions. That's what this wand minimizes. But it's entirely naive for me to imagine that I can grab the same wand and use it for mascara, roll on deodorant, or to point you to a particular word on a PowerPoint presentation. Because it's just not going to work in those regards. Why? Because that, you idiots, is not what it's made for. That's not what its robust design can achieve. Let's have another discussion. I don't like witches. If you find me feisty, effervescent, to basically handle some people, you can click away, it's up to you. But I am exhausted with the exorbitant rottenness of my countrymen and the attempts using witchcraft to do just about everything. So, when I was studying at Wits University, cause that happened. Y'all believe it or not, it actually did. I took this one subject called management or something, entrepreneurship and management, something to do with management. Righto. And in this, no, was it managed? No, I'm sorry, look, I don't think that's the one that I want to talk about right now. When we were coming up with that situation, or could it have been economics? Was it economics, or was it corporate finance and investments? Let me think. Was it corporate finance? It was investments. It was investments. It was not management. It was investments. Okay, it was corporate finance and investments. I think that's what it was. If not, whatever, it was somewhere within the degree I was doing. I did a lot of subjects. I'm very hot. It should not be this hot, but it is. I didn't expect it to be this hot. Where's my fanning thing? Where's my anything? Nothing should go missing in this place. Because everything is just right here. Anyway, this should work reasonably well too. Ah, wow, okay, there we go. I was looking for my little card box, but that's not here. Ah, there goes an itch again. Anyway, in one of them subjects I was doing at Wits, I learned this particular thing. And I was like, ooh, how clever these people are in coming up with financial models. Or in promotion. No, actually, I think it was marketing. Was it marketing? Yo, it was some subject. It could literally fall in any of these niches. But it might have been marketing. I don't know. Whatever. I did a lot at school. And it's quite the travesty that I apparently look like I am uneducated. Have you heard me speak? Anyway, whatever. Let's just carry on with what it is that we started out saying. There is this principle. I think it might have been marketing. Whatever. Whenever it is that you're trying to basically version your margins, whenever you were trying to resell your product or promote it, whatever it is that you're doing, you can go on right ahead and counsel or educate your audience, or those who are likely to take up your product, as to what might be the multiple purposes or uses of that product, even though its original value proposition. So now that I'm speaking, I think it might have been marketing. Even though its original value proposition basically set forward that this is what the purpose of this product is. This is what you use it for. When you go on right ahead on your marketing spree, you could also counsel individuals as to what more this wonderful thing can do for you. And these designs of how you can market or model your sales structure to the market and them fell within several categories depending on what in the world is going on out here in these streets. Okay, that's why I guess innovative people are needed in the workspace, which is why I'm wondering what's happening in South Africa. Are you even selling anything anymore? I mean, with all these mediocre, flatlining randos that are bewitching all of corporate South Africa into oblivion, what exactly are you innovating with such substandard brains stuck in corporate South Africa? That's all that's left. I'm just saying, there's no way I'm the only person that was just squeezed out as through a toothpaste tube out of the market without there being an actual skills bleed in the country. So who is running you exactly? Like I said, mediocre randos. Anyway, let your little junk status economy do what it wants to do. I hate this country. I'm not even going to, I'm not lying. I'm not even out here speaking as a broken-hearted person or whatever. I can't stand this land. But let's go on right ahead to explain why I'm there. If you're still hanging out in my ministry listening to me, I guess thank you, right? As a South African, bottom line is, whatever sober soul still dwells in this country, if God does not rapture the church, you do best to get on a boat and sail on out of here, because there's nothing good coming to this stupid country. I'm just saying, I don't like this nation, and largely I don't even like its people. It's just rotten to the core, and I'm gonna get to explaining why that is. Okay. Then again, if you're not here with me anymore, then I guess goodbye, right? But if you're still here with me, listen up, hear me out. Herein lies this model to market a product, and using McDonald's, for example. Herein lies McDonald's with a burger model. They are just selling patties. They are just selling tomatoes. They are just selling lettuce. They are just selling buns. They are just selling potato chips. So I guess, what are you gonna do with all of these individual units of items that you sell? You could make like a regular, like an FMCG, and sell one item each. You could totally do that. Absolutely. You can just sell people a bun. You could sell them a chip or a box of chips. You could sell people some lettuce. But you're not a produce store, are you? You're a burger joint. So you grab those individual items and you put them together in a burger. And then herein lies the Big Mac. It's gawking at you. And that's what people buy. But how does McDonald's optimize its revenue stream with all of these individual things that they sell? That's just the thing, right? That's really why it is that I was confused as to whether or not this was investments, corporate finance, management, economics, or marketing, because it could really fall into any of those categories. Okay, what is McDonald's financial maximizing strategy if you were to put it in a linear regression constraint drawing? How can you best maximize McDonald's VP, value proposition? So it is obvious that McDonald's sells chips, it sells potatoes, McDonald's obviously sells lettuce, it obviously sells tomatoes, and it obviously sells patties, it obviously sells bread. It does. But is that what McDonald's is about? No, it's not a spaza shop, it's not a supermarket. It has a particular brand. It is a fast food restaurant. So it is about purchasing all of these things and then packaging them in a way so as to proliferate their VP, which is to sell burgers. But I mean, I could just grab a tomato and some lettuce, some onions, a bun, a burger, a patty. I could grab what do you call this, tomato sauce, a little bit of mayonnaise paste and whatnot, and just put them all in one one little stashy, and say, herein lies my product offering. I am selling a burger. I could do that, and that's it. And then you will sell burgers. So on that day, you're not just selling patties, you're not just selling potatoes, and you're also not just selling buns, but you're selling actual burgers, right? You're selling a burger. But you see, McDonald's, how do they make money, and how do they keep making money? How do they keep growing from strength to strength? It is in creating different burgers out of the exact same ingredients. So they go on right ahead and make a Big Mac, and then a Cajun, and then a quarter pounder, and then grilled chicken fold over, and so on and so forth. They use the same ingredients across multiple variations of product offering, and then price it differently in order to maximize their financial output, therefore hitting their financial goals. What's the word that I'm looking for? Bottom line. Getting their bottom lines and all that jazz, blah blah, wada. Fish paste. And McDonald's can just keep on innovating over and over again, and over and above creating different burgers, right, and different packages of burgers. They can also individually sell you just the burger, or just the fries, or just the Coca-Cola, or just the, you get my point. They could individually sell you just these things, or separately, and upon selling them to you individually, they will then of course inflate the price. So if you buy a meal, it's cheaper than if you buy just the fries individually, just the burger individually, etc. You get my point. So then they maximize their growth model. They make sure that they do really excellently with selling potatoes, with selling tomatoes, and so on and so forth. So their model is what is called a robust design. It's robust because they use the exact same thingy-mabobbies, do you understand? Yeah, to create a variety of things. Now, not everything automatically so easily is conformed into a robust design, like beef patties and chicken patties being used to make variations of chicken and beef burgers. Some things are harder to make robust, so you gotta be really smart to try and make, for instance, polish. Smart. Like, please, I don't have decorum as the apocalypse. Polish, alright? Shoe polish. Kiwi in South Africa, there is this like black polish for school shoes for kids in school. Well, it's for like a lot of people. Kiwi keeps your shoes protected for a long, long time. Kiwi keeps your shoes protected for a long, long time. Anyway, whatever, yeah. Kiwi is supposed to be a shoe polish. That's what's good. It's a shoe polish, and that's really and truly largely what it is advertised for. But if Kiwi, or the brand behind Kiwi, the polish, makes a decision that, look, we need to start seeing if we can pump our numbers, they would then hire like an innovation team in these streets to see how they can make Kiwi more robust. So then they will cause individuals to come up with different ways in which Kiwi can be used and help people understand how under heaven it is that this thing is beneficial for them. So when I was on the come up, Kiwi was used to polish shoes, but black girls have issues with edges. Alright, sometimes when you overkill with, you get my point, yeah. Every so often when you overkill with cornrows, your edges just get mauled away at. And I grew up basically coming to learn that lots and lots of my friends, and sometimes I even did it, yeah, went and grabbed a toothbrush, which yet again, therein lies a robust design. It's to brush teeth, but when it gets old, you can use it for another purpose. Yeah, they will grab a toothbrush and then they will just kind of dip it inside Kiwi and create baby hairs or darken the periphery of the skull so as to look as if though their edges are still kind of there, their hair is still there. So we had these chicks with like polish all up in their hairline, and it was often embarrassing. They every so often exchanged it for mascara as well. They could use mascara, like a mascara wand, to fill out edges, or actual Kiwi polish. That was another purpose for Kiwi polish. Alright, there then were painters who found Kiwi the polish a lot cheaper than buying paint palettes, and seeing as it came so easily in that what is this? It's not a color. Black is not a color. It's more an absorption of all colors. Black and white are not colors. Yeah, white is a reflection of all colors. Black is an absorption of all colors, but just for the sake of being pedantic, the thing that is the absorption of all colors is very important as a foundation in painting, and many artists in the Kasi, in the black community that liked painting, used Kiwi polish instead of having to go to a builder's warehouse and buy like a whole painter's set. So depending on your segment or the market that you are trying to reach or target, you could then basically advertise below the line without going on, like airing it on national television. You could do a BTL advertisement strategy to basically counsel or advise or educate people on the robustness of Kiwi polish, to widen the market, to make it such that it's not just school kids buying it or the parents of school kids or those who have shoes that need polishing, but it is also those that I guess want to fill out their edges or use it as a paint, yeah, type establishment thing. And this can then cause greater uptake in the volumes of your product. So herein lies one product being used for multiple purposes. Herein lies one patty being used across multiple burgers. That's called a robust design. I already made mention of toothbrushes being that thing. Currently, there's a lot of channels on YouTube that help you figure out how in the world under heaven to use various things. I came to discover the power of, it's not carbon monoxide, that would be that odorless, deadly gas. Hydrogen peroxide. How in the world did I think carbon monoxide? Anyway, hydrogen peroxide is this thing that fizzles into your wounds and cleans them, and it's used a lot within the medical industry. You will find it at Dischem, etc. But hydrogen peroxide has got its powers in very many other areas as well, many other respects as well. It cleans fruit better than anything else out there, the fruit of which can also be cleansed from pesticides using hydrogen peroxide mixed with bicarbonate of soda. That's what's good. Hydrogen peroxide is also very excellent at cleaning grub out of tiles, believe it or not. Again, mix it with bicarb of soda and you've got this like restored bathroom that looks like they just did the tiling work yesterday. Hydrogen peroxide does that, but hydrogen peroxide is largely utilized for medical purposes. It is to heal wounds, to fizzle out, bubble out, all different kinds of nasties in an open wound so that it recovers real quick or whatever. So it is largely advertised within the pharmaceuticals industry to, I guess, doctors' offices, wada, that's their main market. That's who they're advertising to, and they've got their methods to advertise. But a household lady, a mom, a stay-at-home wife has yet more reason for hydrogen peroxide. Like I said, it is a cleaning beast. It also apparently allegedly can clean out teeth. And when diluted at the right concentrations, it is apparently a good acne treatment too. It also nicely, beautifully cleanses fruit that, you want to remove extra gunk on that most of us don't quite get to by simply just running the fruits underwater. Yeah, that's a robust design, and how it is that hydrogen peroxide is advertised to people largely is for medical purposes, but then below the line they would advertise it for all these other purposes. So they need the YouTube channels that are out here going to tell you, these advertising companies, these product companies, YouTube channels that are going to advise you how to use this thing multiple ways. Yeah, that's a robust design. But in going back to these like robust design thingy-mabobbies, okay, let's go back to McDonald's, alright, who have these robust burgers that one patty, one lettuce, one leaf of lettuce, one slice of tomato, one squirt of tomato and tomato paste and mayonnaise and whatnot can make like different burgers. That's what's good. Now imagine somebody then trying to, I need to like basically come up with like a really good example. Imagine somebody trying to utilize the McDonald's patties to imagine somebody making a decision to utilize the McDonald's patties to build a human heart, because there is quite the shortage of organs donated by people who have donated their bodies to science upon death, or who are happy to part with a kidney or two. And then somebody comes up with a bright idea in the medical industry, seeing as they want to utilize McDonald's patties for a robust design. Then they decide to like go and make like a little mad scientist in their factory, in their little medical experimentation room, and manufacture livers like from scratch, manufacture hearts from scratch, manufacture, just because these things are made from meat tissue, they're made from protein tissue, they're made from muscle tissue, they're made from the tissues of a living organism that now has ceased to be. So I mean, it's only reasonable and sensible for us to go and grab all these McDonald's patties, put them together and build a human heart, because some kids are out here dying who have got heart arrhythmias. There's like people out here getting like massive heart attacks and need transplants. there's individuals out here lacking a liver. We can just put together a couple of them, mash them, and build it. Maybe even put it in a 3D printer, see what that produces. Yeah, on that day, what is the world gonna say? What is anyone looking on gonna say? What is the prospective patient that is to receive this ground beef heart from McDonald's gonna say? What are they gonna say? Are they gonna consent to the surgery? If at all we're living in a sober world, I need to understand. If we're all living in a reasonable world still, are they going to consent to this lunacy? Is that what's going on? Well, of course not. This here is like, it's just violently experimental. And on top of that, just because it's meat does not mean you can remake human organs out of it. Okay, very well. And then in going on right ahead to talk about the kiwi, you know, keeps your shoes protected for a long time. When then you discover that you can use it for paint, you discover that you can use it to just brush down your edges, you then decide that, you know what, I'm gonna go and grab this paint and use it for clothing dye. Like, I want my white shirt to turn black, and it's just really expensive to buy black clothing dye, so I'm gonna just dunk my white t-shirt in a whole bunch of kiwi polish and see what happens. On that day, you're just gonna create a whole big mess in your bathroom. You're gonna create a whole big mess on your body, and you are going to lose that t-shirt forever. It's that basic. It's never coming back once you do that. Just because it's black and can make your edges lay, or at least look fuller, just because you can use it as paint doesn't mean you can use it, for crying out loud, to dye your t-shirt. There are things that, albeit a product having a robust design, just cannot do. There are things. Hydrogen peroxide. We use that as an example too. It is this fizzling thing that goes in your wounds, bubbles on them, sometimes painfully, until you're disinfected or whatever. Well, I mean, you could then make a decision that, oh, this stuff has got disinfecting properties, so, what can I do? I really want to disinfect, so how about I just drink hydrogen peroxide and see if at all it's not going to detox my body. Because look at how it detoxes my kitchen tarring, my kitchen what is this? You get my point. Goodness, like, don't try and get me to remember what those words mean. The granite or whatever, not granite, the whatever, the thing that cement in the center of your tiles. Yeah, look at how the hydrogen peroxide detoxified that. Look at how it detoxified the tiles in my bathroom. Look at how it cleansed my fruit, the fruit of which were dunked in a hydrogen peroxide solution with bicarb of soda and then rinsed thereafter. Not leaving the hydrogen peroxide on the fruits, but you're actually rinsing it thereafter. Then only. You eat them very well, but like actually just kind of drink, gulp. The hydrogen peroxide, all in the spirits of basically achieving inside your body that which was done on the surface of your peach. Yeah, to do away with all of those pesticides, to deworm your body, lest you should have hookworm or tapeworm inside you. You then ingest hydrogen peroxide. You will cease to exist. You will pass away. You will convulse. You might even foam at the mouth. You might vomit. You might survive, but not before first sort of kind of hitting the neck of death and escaping it as through the fire by the skin of your teeth. You could die. Is that basic? So we now come to discover that this thing that has abilities to detox, you know, external things, even wounds externally from the body, you can't ingest it, because then you might actually die. You could code. So no, it is robust. We get it. You can use it for multiple purposes. We absolutely gauge accurately that can happen, but it is not invincible. It is not a wand you can wave at everything and it'll give you what you want. Just because you've made an observation of how robust it is in its ability to affect whatever it is that you're trying to effect successfully, it does not mean that it will do that everywhere you freaking go. Everything you can ever imagine this thing potentially doing, it does not mean it can do that. And to test the system in trying to basically make human organs out of McDonald's patties because it's meat too, and in trying to dye your shirts black using kiwi polish, in trying to use hydrogen peroxide to detox your body. Individuals are going to look at you like you're mad, you're insane, you're ridiculous, because certain things just should not be trusted as efficacious in any ecosystem because they can't possibly work. It's an ethics issue first and foremost, and secondly, it's just dangerous. Stop being experimental mad scientist, for you will end up producing a Frankenstein. Like, yeah, it's literally just that basic. Witches, are you listening to me? Whatever you're doing is mad scientist experimentation that is causing your entire countries to vomit, convulse on the floor, spaz, and pass the heck away. You are killing your countries by constantly trying to use this little wand of yours for multiple purposes, hoping that it's going to be the thing that achieves for you the be-all and end-all of a final outcome. I can't stand you. You are teeming at the folds all over South Africa, and so you've made me hate this country. You are all over the show. You're in the government. You are in the streets rioting for human rights when you destroy them with your craft. You are in corporate South Africa. You're raising children, for crying out loud. You are taken seriously in just about every walk of life when you are the gangrene coursing through the veins of the nation. You have made South Africa insufferable. I frankly hate it. I can't stand it, because a country is only as good as its citizens, not its infrastructure, not even the sun that rises and sets in it. It's the people, you idiots. And so, whether or not a country is livable or enjoyable is dependent entirely on its population. And so if you're all just turning to the darkness, you're gonna make a person hate an entire country. This little magic wand of yours that you keep on waving all over the show, however incendiary you might be, care you not, because you are just trying to get your own bread, buttered on both sides, even if it is at the expense of literally everything you've ever known and loved, because you think you live in a vacuum. That's what's good. You think you're literally the only South African that popped out of a woman's womb. And so really nothing else matters. Oh, Frank Sinatra, you doing it your way? Nobody else matters. Selfish bunch of goons. Nobody else matters. Absolutely nothing matters. Your entire countries, your children's
Hi, how's
futures,
it in the name of Christ?
everything
Your girl,
is
Pancake
irrelevant.
Karabo.
Everything is relevant. Your children's futures, everything. Like, you literally are just trying to grab whatever you want to run in these streets to grab, at the expense of literally everything. And so when there's like so many of you, like, I apologize, like I literally do, I can't. When there's so many of you that this country is no longer survivable, this here is putrefaction. It's like a heap of dung in a baby's diaper. It needs to go in a dustbin, and I don't care for it. And that's how I feel about South Africa, thanks to just how many witches there are here. I really don't know per capita how many of you there are. I just know there's too many for me to be okay with this land. I just know there's too many for me to be able to just live out the rest of my days in any level of comfort or ease, just taking this in my stride. I can't. I'm sorry. I am thoroughly convinced that it gets better elsewhere. There must be other places where it is better, because if it wasn't, if there weren't, Jesus would have long ago grabbed the body of Christ. And so if the Lord does not rapture the church, what that is signaling to me, what that is saying, what alarm bells are being sent out, what flares are being shot in the sky, is that Karabo, it might look deep and destroyed right now. It really might appear as if though there's nothing coming. But the fact that I have not raptured the body of Christ yet, the fact that all y'all are still, and if at all we were going to stick around here for a lot longer, there must definitely be somewhere else that is livable on the earth, because God is not going to just linger the planet in this level of dystopian, nightmarish existence that South Africa is living out every single day of its life for an entire global citizenship. Like, dream on. Like, when it's like this everywhere, it's over. The only reason why any of us are still here is because there are safe havens, and I'm gunning for it. Like, what is this? The dreams that I keep getting. Like, yo, we're gonna talk. Okay, we're gonna have a discussion. I suppose that's what we're doing over here. It cannot be bad all throughout the world. And wherever it is that it is better, the Lord will take me there if it is not his will nor desire to rapture the body of Christ. Yet. If it's not what he's doing yet, I do not know. I am leaning more towards the rapture than anything because I'm living in a dystopia and it's just so freaking bizarre. This dystopian, like, nightmarish existence that I have every single day of my life that I cannot fathom, given that this country used to be sober once upon a time, like literally another 2 years on this earth, or 3 or 10. I just don't see how this can continue if it's like this the majority of places on the earth. If God does not snatch us out from the earth, the only thing I can conclude, the only thing I can imagine, the only thing I can reach a sound inference concerning what is the likely thing going on here is that I gotta move from South Africa at a minimum, because there is definitely somewhere else to live. They would not, if at all there was no place that is safe, if at all everywhere you go it was like South Africa. Like I said, the rapture would have happened like yesterday. God is not one to suffer indiscretion, prejudice, ridiculousness, indignation across like a city, never mind countries, on a loop where his disciples are just being harassed. And so if this was a global issue, we'd be gone. If this is a global issue, we are going to heaven. We're getting raptured. If this thing is really concentrated in just about every square kilometer of every country on the planet, we're done for. And so therefore the only thing that's going to rescue us as the body of Christ is the rapture. That's what you need to understand. So South Africa, every single day that progresses when I'm still living among you, I'm thinking, okay, what exactly here is going to happen? Either the rapture is happening literally tomorrow, or I'm leaving literally tomorrow, this country. There is no way, or I'm dying. Because that's another thing. Because when you live in this kind of a dystopia, yeah, you end up martyred. So I'm either going to end up martyred as a saint, dead, or relocated, or raptured. Martyred is dead. I'm either going to end up dead, relocated, raptured, or yeah, those are the three. Martyred, relocated, either martyrdom or relocation, or raptured. Yeah, martyred, relocated, or raptured. Dead, relocated, or raptured. These are the only three outcomes for my life. Because there is absolutely no freaking way, get that, South Africa, that God is just going to linger me another 10 years in this nonsense that you are doing. You can literally dream on in all of your nihilism and your belief that there is no one coming for me. Proper. All of your godlessness, your debauchery, your incendiary insensitivity, your insistence on continuing to make your little magic wand antics a robust design, even though, frankly, you are naive to think that you can just keep on swishing it up, see what you can do with your darkness to ultimately achieve what you want. Because you don't even see that even when something has got a robust design, it can't just be used for whatever. You can't do, like, you have become so addicted to this moronic deed, this moronic craft of yours that has robbed you of trust in your own abilities to acquire anything in this world. Anything. Like, you don't trust yourselves anymore to just basically work to get anything. And so you bewitch everything in yourself. I'm sorry, this is not sustainable. I literally apologize. This is not sustainable. And anybody at all that imagines that you can still continue to do this for another decade because nobody is watching, wow, look at you be ever so immediately handled by a holy God that will make it clear that the only reason why I rode you out for so long while you were busy afflicting the living daylights out of my daughter to a point of feeling as if though I don't care about her, yeah, was for you. It was about you. I was long-suffering you. I was abounding in steadfast love as the God that I am, not willing that you should perish, but that all should come to a knowledge of me. But seeing as you are taking my magnanimity for granted, what I'm gonna do is either grab the whole body of Christ and judge the world, grab just my Christian and move her to another country, then judge your country, or I'm gonna let you kill my child. But understand, no fury exists in my heart above the fury I feel for those who touch my anointed. So you will not cease to receive your judgment, South Africa, if you kill me. It's that basic. You, namasangoma enu, that you keep on just taking in your stride, coddling, swaddling like they're little babies. You who just keep on tolerating these Jezebels all over the show. Like the church at Thyatira. After you murder my saints, after you kill the last one of my prophets, I will not spare your country judgment. Already you are on a downward spiral, a slippery slope. I have confounded your speech. I have made you dumb. I've made you throw your own country into a whirlwind, twisting in it. You have turned your hearts against me. I have hardened them, that you might condemn yourself further, shoot yourself further in the foot. You will continue to stand with all of my enemies. You will continue to back up all of the people who hate my countries. You will continue to hate all the nations. You will continue to hate all the nations in the world that honor me, and love all the nations in the world that are trying to kill anyone that is of me. You will continue to do that until there is nothing left of you anymore. You will continue to walk around lukewarm, however naked, in these streets, not knowing your left from your right, utterly disgraced and despised by me, yet imaginative of your redemption in me. You will continue to do that until it becomes clear that you have never known me, because I will make you depart from my face, my sight. You will cease. South Africa, the day is coming, I've already said that, from being a country. But I don't believe that's going to happen until the millennial reign of Jesus Christ. You're not going to have a border anymore in a country called South Africa, because you're already that far gone. So one of three things can happen here. Rapture of Karabo. All of us go home as the body of Christ, or taking Karabo individually out, and many like Karabo, out of this cesspool of darkness called South Africa. Or God kills me. He lets me die. He lets you kill me. He lets you finish me off, while attempting to make me settle for that which I am not about to do. But understand that following that death, like I said, you're already done for as a country. Worse off are you going to be if you literally let me die. Is that basic? South Africa, I can't stand you. You are not a McDonald's patty, first and foremost. Let's just put that out there. However, just the fact that you're even trying to make organs out of beef that people use to eat. Do you? Okay? You are grabbing these magic wands of yours in these secret societies that you have conjured up from the ground. You who call yourselves a patriots for your country. You who have menaced so many men, women, and children in the country and caused them to think this is just how life is. No! This is not just how life is. Ain't no Christian country that honors God struggle the way that South Africa struggles. A country that loves God does not fall apart, you idiots! It doesn't! Only go look at countries that the Lord favored because they had loved him in the scriptures, how much the Lord blessed those lands. Or countries that blessed his servants, gave them comfort, a place to sleep, stay, a place to basically thrive. The Lord has always prospered those lands. He did it in Babylon. He did it in Egypt. He did it in Israel when they still honored God. And he keeps on doing it across the world. He did it initially in America, but now they're falling apart. He did it initially in South Africa, but now it's falling apart. Countries that held fast to Jesus have always been prospered. They've always been prospered. Like, it is literally unfair or ungodly. It's ungodlike for the Lord to abandon a nation that loves him to poverty, to devastation, to want, to sorrow, to being unraveled. Like, at the seams. Every structure you've ever erected is just falling apart. Everything is rotting. South Africa, go and what is wrong with you? Look at your post office. There was a time when I had bought a product from, is it AliExpress, that came from another country, right? And I had to go and pick it up at Roodepoort Post Office, go Westgate. The staff was sitting on chairs that were not, they looked like they were eaten into by rats. You could see that brown sponge that you find in the middle of chairs. That's what our post office employees are working in. When you look at the post office, the actual post boxes, go Westgate next to each other. Debilitated, haven't been painted in years. Anybody could just break that stuff open and grab anybody's mail. That's your country. That is not a land that God is blessing. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous that you even call yourself a Christian country, because if you were a Christian country, your post office employees would not be sitting on eaten chairs. The power grid of the country would not struggle to give us electricity. You would not be shivering and losing yourselves. Your economy would not be falling apart. Corporate South Africa is teeming at the folds with mediocre staff, because every little rando in there is bewitching their colleagues into oblivion. Because I'm gonna get the promotion. And so they just use this magic wand. That's what's good. Yeah. Until all the truly skilled people of the country are either unemployed, dead, or they've gone into the diaspora. They've left the country. So, I mean, witches, look, you guys, the thing is about you, like, you fill out all of these prominent positions in society, some of the prominent positions of which are within politics, for crying out loud. And so by mere virtue of being in politics, I would anticipate, I would imagine on that day that you are patriotic. Because I mean, why would you join politics if you don't care about your country? But you do witchcraft? I'm sorry. Allow me to explain to you who in the world is behind sorcery. Is the devil. The devil only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So when you use witchcraft to try and run the show and get ahead, as a politician in this country, you are asking him to destroy your country through you, seeing as you've placed yourself in a position of honor. To therefore manipulate the outcomes of your country. And so how about you just destroy our economy tomorrow? Like, just do it already. How about you just destroy our schooling system, education, just rip it to shreds? How about you just decimate our pass marks? How about you just absolutely shatter our provision of electricity and water? Because when you've got like a whole prime minister out here using witchcraft, what the heck is he doing? He's in power. He's obviously going to enable the devil to freaking steal, kill, and destroy the country. Just in case you don't believe that witchcraft is of the devil, allow me to expand on that. If at all this thing is not of Satan, since you think it's your roots, you and your ancestors that you so love, yeah. Why under heaven is it causing so much destruction on the ground? If this thing is good, if these ancestors of yours that enable you to get your job promotions, that help you to become the premiers of the country, that get you initiated into occult organizations just so you can become a president one day, if it was so good, why is it done in so much secret first and foremost, so you can't even be outwardly practicing these things? And secondly, why does it cause so much destruction? Why do you have to shed so much blood? And why do so many people's lives have to be destroyed that you might be elevated? Nothing that is good that comes from a wholesome source is that destructive. If at all it's not benevolent, it is not good, it's not God. And your sorcery has no benevolence to it. It is clearly diabolical. And so if you don't believe it is from the devil, then who is it from, seeing as it's so nefarious? Is there anything other than the devil that's nefarious? Is there any other antagonist to all things wholesome that we call Satan? Is there any other name? Is there any other person doing that other than the devil? Like, is there any other body, entity, effecting these deeds other than Satan? It doesn't matter. Even if there was, bottom line is, it's a diabolical being. Because it is enabling you along at the expense of others. It leaves others behind. But a benevolent God, if anything, is the God of the minority. The road is narrow that leads to life that few people find. That's what the scriptures have to say. And so if the Lord is out here always taking care of just a small number of people, what makes you think that the devil is content with you basically destroying 20,000 people in favor of 1 million? In order to build a country, you gotta go and bomb a percentage of it? Yeah, your strategy to get ahead is there are casualties every so often in the acquisition of greatness. So sorry, some people gotta fall by the wayside in order for us to achieve our goals. That's just the thing about your diabolical gods. They have no regard for the minority. If anything, they're prepared to sacrifice a couple of people in favor of what you call the greater good. The moment you leave anyone out, you're not dealing with a true God. Because God is not... he's not partial. He's not a respecter of persons. He has absolutely no respect for certain people above others. That's not what he does. And he is indignant at the mistreatment of the marginalized, the ostracized, of those who are treated like trash because apparently they're the collateral damage for the day. They're the ones we gotta destroy. So I guess that's how many of these politicians get elevated, right? They decimate so many lives. And they kill so many people and they shed so much blood, but that blood that they shed, albeit it being a lot in the sight of God, is just 5 little South Africans. It's just 10. It's 20. It's 1,000 South Africans. But really, if we're living in a country with 40 million people, what's 10,000 people? When your politicians think like that, it's only a matter of time before 10,000 people become 20,000 and 20,000 become 1 million and 1 million become half the country's population. And if at all people don't want to capitulate, I guess die then. The numbers add up. Because when you don't have a moral compass that is objective by which you dedicate your decisions, you will continue to come up with brand spanking new ways to do abominations in the name of the grander good. I am, apparently, allegedly, the acceptable human sacrifice for the greater good of South Africa, a country that is already falling apart at the seams. Like I said, I am facing martyrdom, I will not lie, but I am also facing relocation to another country or a rapture. One of three things can happen. But just the fact that my country has put a stamp on me as disposable because she is too exposy, she's too embarrassing, whatever it is that I am too much of, frankly, I am therefore now a necessary evil to just eliminate like I'm nothing, like the scum of the earth, like bubblegum underneath people's feet. And I gave my life to Christ, and he looks at me with great favor, and he's given me a prophetic gifting. And so therefore, essentially, that scripture does speak of me when it is written, touch not God's anointed, do my prophets no harm. Wow. How you literally decided to go and tase a person that chose God, was snatched out from the flames of hell, God set them apart for a job, and then you were like, nah. I mean, how many South Africans do you just throw in a dustbin that don't know Jesus? Millions. A lot. But how many out of, how many South Africans that you throw in a dustbin do know Jesus? They don't even have to be many, just enough. Because God does not need us to be many for him to ultimately destroy a country for our sake. He snatched Lot and his family out of Sodom and destroyed that whole city. So you are naive, South Africa, to imagine me just some incalculable number, something that is just, worthy of being thrown, tossed to the side. You can just destroy it because nobody's gonna miss it except the God of the universe will notice that I have died. He will spot that I'm missing in action. He will absolutely identify that I'm not doing the job I'm supposed to be doing because I've been imprisoned by my country. Something that you imagine you can just hide in the corners. A holy God that no one can flee from the sight of. That if you ascend to the heavens above, he's there. If you descend to the center of the earth, he is there. He recognizes the imprisoned nature of his disciple. And he will allow one of three things. Either my rapture, and so you get handled anyway. My death, and so you get handled because you killed me. Or my relocation, and so you get handled because I left and then God judged your land. This is not going to end well for you, South Africa. I'm not staying in your deadbeat country. I am done with you. It is over between us. We will never be friends ever again. It is literally done. There is no looking back. This is Sodom. And those of you that are saddened by my message who are South Africans, stop being sad, wipe your eyes, and start to plan to leave the country too. Because nothing good is coming here. It is not a sad thing that I am leaving. It is a good thing. It is a jubilant thing. It is an amazing thing. Why? Because it is a praiseworthy feat for those who belong to Jesus to escape the judgment of a country that hates him. Do not resent me, South Africans, for hating your country. Resent your country for destroying itself until its own citizens defected. That's what you need to be doing. Don't despise me. I'm just a woman reacting from the trauma induced in my bones over a decade by a dumb country, and I'm not doing it anymore. It is not the infrastructure of the country or even the tables that are made by carpenters here that I hate. It's not the creation in this land, for it is beautiful. We've got a beautiful landscape. It's a waste of beauty, that beauty. Because the individuals inside this country are so evil, so diabolical, that they've made life near on impossible for a Christian to live. So for these genital warts, walking around calling themselves people, to thoroughly imagine that they can wave a magic wand to keep me in the country lest I should embarrass it, that's just the thing. They're hypocrites. They're hypocrites. They're like genital warts in the body arching, gnawing away at you, thoroughly causing a great deal of discomfort, imaginative of it being a sustainable concern for a person to walk around like that without medical attention. You are the disease in the country that, absent of there being medical intervention, you will cause a disquiet, a riotous one at that is insufferable to endure for all of the land. And I've set this out for a whole decade, and I believe it's time to get out. If the Lord does not rapture the body of Christ, I'm leaving this nation, whether or not you like it. I'm literally relocating. It's that basic. One of two things can happen. 3, my martyrdom, the rapture, or my relocation. But certainly not me lingering in this dumb facade of a wannabe Christian country for another decade. Another day is frankly a day too long. I'm waiting for nothing but my relocation. Extraction is all I'm waiting for. In one shape or the other, I'm leaving this country, be it in a casket, in an airplane, or in a supernatural event that catches me up in the sky, but I'm leaving. Stay here, I am not. This is not my home. It ceased being it the moment they decided to throw me out of the workforce and endure me through so much sexual abuse by men that I can't even look at anyone with any level of trust in my heart for them anymore, especially when they're black. You've given me a severity of trauma. It would take a lot for God to restore me back to trusting any man at all, if at all he's not rapturing the church. And who did that, South Africa? With your freaking GBV, with your gender-based violence, your stats are whack. And you're expecting God's daughters to continue to grace your shores with their presence? I'm sorry. Let the Lord take us home. Let the Lord take us out. Don't nobody here deserve us. We keep on getting spiked in our drinks. Men won't leave us alone when we say we don't want to be unequally yoked. Like women, everybody is bewitching everything, to a point where the quality of the average South African is significantly faded away at. I apologize, I'm sorry. Like, this is not a going concern. It is not sustainable. And the fact that you think you can wave a magic wand to make a person that's done with you not be done, to like just maneuver or continue to go back to the drawing board or change up your strategy because you realize now that you're a patriot and that God was really smart and that we can't afford to lose her, but hey, we can just set her up in some little apartment but keep her in the country. I'm leaving, you idiots. Your little magic wand that you keep on waving all over the show, you cannot use it for just anything in batla. I don't know how many times I have said that about your sorcery over and over again. I just keep on like raising this as an issue. You can't just use it to do whatever. Just because you were able to get a job through it, therein lies the first burger from McDonald's. Just because you were able to manipulate some chick in the past into getting into your life, therein lies a quarter pounder deluxe. Just because you were able to basically cause your colleagues to quit their jobs that you might get the job promotion, whoa, therein lies the Cajun chicken meal. Does not mean that you can prosper to convince a Christian that is fed up and done, serving a God that also is similarly fed up and done with your country, to stay in the country. Therein lies your beef patty being used to manufacture a new heart for a baby with a heart condition. Your little Frankenstein that you keep on creating in your laboratories and the occult is not going to work. It's menacing, and it's only going to humiliate you as a nation. I'm leaving this country, and if at all the Lord sees it fit to give me a future, yes, South Africa, better take this in your stride. I guess this is what's gonna make you go back to the drawing board, little lawyer, because it's gonna humiliate you as a nation. It's going to humiliate you as a country in the worst way. So I guess you're fighting for yourselves to not be humiliated. It would be great if I got martyred, wouldn't it? Because then my message wouldn't go out. It would be excellent if at all I was just silenced and nobody got to see this. So you're slipping me underneath the rug, under a carpet, like some filthy dirt, dust, something a little secret, almost as if though I don't belong to the person who created even you. Almost as if though I don't belong to the God that made your stupid bones, that are dry, arid, and headed to hellfire, hitting the ground running. You thoroughly imagine the creator of the universe that fashioned, designed every last molecular structure of the planet, who I belong to. You think that he's going to be content with you grabbing me, who has chosen him, and just slipping me underneath some stupid carpet, editzila, with your wine stains on it, in your dirty house? Because that's what you're doing, hiding a whole bunch of people because your witchcraft freaking botched. Your witchcraft came out botched. It didn't do what you hoped it would do. It's unintended consequences, this thing, Karabo, so let's just kill it. Unnecessary evil, that's what it is that you're achieving out of an entire soul, a human being, an entire thriving concern, like a whole person. God breathed into her and she became a living soul. A person that not only has been given life by God, but this person gave their life to God. And you think God is just going to let me be slipped underneath the carpet just like that? You are naive, you're nihilistic. You don't believe there is a God, that's why you're foolish. The fool says in his heart there is no God. The fool says ain't nobody watching, ain't nobody out, you're looking at this. And so you keep on sweeping us underneath the carpet, and you imagine that the lack of justice, or what is taking forever and a day for us to ultimately get that justice, is evidence of there being no God. How in the world is there no God when you're as evil as you are? I mean, that level of diabolicalism, how nefarious you are, just how exquisitely wicked you are, leaves all of us in a lot of danger if there is no God. Literally, we are at the mercy of some pretty frenetically diabolical people. Would there be no God? What the heck? Do you think the earth would stand? Do you think the earth would remain in its orbit in outer space if there was no one staying what it is under heaven that you do, from continuing to be proliferated every single day, which is no, I'm sorry, you're naive to think there is no God, because if there wasn't, you would have imploded the planet long before any of us were born. The 21st century would never even exist if witchcraft really truly achieved its full end. The Illuminati has been trying for like ever and a day to rebuild the Tower of Babel. They've been failing abysmally precisely because there's a God, and you're amateur in comparison even to them. Absolutely amateur. So all of these Lay Jane witches and Lay Joe witches all over the show trying to see if at all they can't go back to the drawing board to finish what they started with me. I'm sorry, you nihilistic buffoon, trying to create a whole human heart, a whole human liver out of beef patty at McDonald's. You are freaking naive! Stop with your witchcraft. If you won't, you will die. I promise you, you will drop dead. You will be neutralized. You will be humiliated. And before you get humiliated, you will be arrogant. You keep on sprinkling a little salty dust on everything that's already really very mad at you. And you think that you're going to make it suddenly not so mad, or just take whatever it is that you want to throw at it, because you keep on inventing this wheel over and over again. You keep on inventing this wheel over and over and over and over. Oh goodness, like there's no end to what you do, is there? You just keep on trying again and again. And despite the magnanimity of God to continue to give you the gospel through someone who's frankly done with you, I don't even understand why I'm still here. Like, why am I still talking to these people? What am I doing? Like, you've got itching ears. You've got elf ears. You've got the ears of freaking beasts. Like, you're not people. I don't know what's going on, but I'm wasting time here. I need to go. Like, I thoroughly need to get out. A prophet has no honor in his own hometown. That's been clear in the days of Christ. She could not do many miracles there. So why am I still here? Must be the rapture. Must be the rapture. Because relocation is not happening fast enough. I need to get out of this place. If there is somewhere on this planet that is habitable, breathable, I gotta go. South Africa, herein lies the deal. God compared you to Haiti. I said that. The Lord, this morning, when I woke up, compared you to Haiti. You might be out here hating on some no one not like that, except no, you're not yet there. Because it takes a process. Do you understand? To get a government and a whole populace of people to obliteration. First, your state fails, and then the citizens on the ground, the actual civilians, fail because they walk in anarchy, like they're purging 24 freaking hours a day. And then with there being no real government and no real moral compass in society, all of it then crashes and burns. It just falls into this riotous civil war that ultimately lays waste all industry and trade. It lays waste all economies in the country. It destroys the food industry, the trade, the textiles industry, automotive. It's all going to start falling apart little by little. It's already started happening. I mean, we see the downward trajectory, and before South African planes struggle to leave the ground, I need to get out, goodness gracious. Before ports, harbors are no longer accessible, I need to step. I need to get out before it's impossible to leave. Because getting out of here is important for me to get, like, this country is a failed state already. That's trying to pretend like that's not what's going on. South Africa is already a failed state. Like, literally, there is no resuscitating this thing back from the thing that it is at, given that its civilians are full of anarchy. The government is a failed state, and its civilian population is just do what thy wilt, for that is the whole of the law. They're doing whatever the heck they want to do. Everybody is bewitching everybody on the left and on the right of them, and no one can come up for air. Everybody who is observing the calamities on the ground that is in somewhat of a safe position are turning a blind eye, thinking that it's not going to come to them. And so the end result is a nation falling apart bit by bit until ultimately the unreachable and the untouchable start getting touched. I am apparently touchable and reachable. That's why I was the first to go. But the unreachable and the untouchable are about to get touched, and they're about to get reached. And they're about to get toppled. They're about to get uprooted. The carpet is about to be pulled from underneath their feet. They're about to get tripped, and they're about to break some teeth. And when that happens, all they will say, is, but she warned us. They warned us. This here is a failed state, and from what the Lord shows me, it's no different from Haiti. South Africa is a Haiti in the making. Let's move to the next part that we might have a discussion about what's going on in Haiti.